We're making adjustments. One moment. Here we go.
Hi, everybody.
We planned that intro. Just like we planned it. First try.
Big Batman. First try.
First try every time. Hey, you're way over there.
Yeah, it is way over there.
No, you're way over there. Get over here. Get over here, little darling.
Hi, everybody.
The little darling's a little under the weather.
Yeah, I am.
She's got the sniffles.
For a little bit, I thought it was allergies. I still think it's partly allergies, but I do have a cough, a slight cough. It's more like tickling in my throat, and I sound all congested.
Too many blueberries.
Too many blueberries. We actually have to tell them about our blueberries.
So this week, we were blueberry pickers for a couple days.
Hello, Tina.
Hey,
Ladybug.
Tina Ladybug.
Hello.
I saw Tina Ladybug was hanging out on Jules' Small Gardening Live.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I finally learn how to play the guitar, I'm going to have to be like Jules and sit out in my garden and play the guitar. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be.
You're just sitting out there jamming. You've been playing a long time, though, you can tell. So what are we talking about? Oh, blueberries. So, yeah, we got a phone call Monday, was it? Or Sunday? Sunday or Monday? Monday. We got a phone call, and they said, hey, you guys want to pick some blueberries? The blueberries all came up all of a sudden. So this lady had a whole bunch of blueberries. What did she say she had, like 15 acres of blueberries? It couldn't have been that many. It only seemed like max 2 or 3 acres. Anyways, we all went out, us and the kids, Tuesday morning and then again on Wednesday morning. And we were out for about 4 hours each time. The first time we collected 21 baskets at $6 a basket. And then the second day we collected.
They paid us $6 a basket.
Yeah, they paid us $6 a basket. And then the second day they paid us. Hey, Nisi.
Hello, Free Alley Maid or Nisi.
Nisi.
Yeah, so like Paul was saying, our neighbor.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So the second day we got 24 baskets. So we increased our output a little bit. But on the second day, after about an hour into it, she took us down to this other field, and the blueberries were a lot heavier, so it took a lot less time. So that was pretty cool. Okay, guys.
Yeah, so Paul and the kids had actually helped one of our neighbors pick cherries a while ago. And I guess the lady that has the blueberries had asked her, like, do you know anybody that could help pick? And she's like, actually, I do. So that's how we got in contact. And they told us that they would pay us $6 per basket that we collected. And we thought it was worth it. And so it was really fun. Like, we're all out there. It was hot, though. We actually were not going to originally go on Tuesday because it was later on in the day, but she really needed help. So we decided to go ahead and go. So we were out there. So the next day we were a little bit more prepared. And we were actually listening to my audiobook the second day when we were picking blueberries. So we had finished our one audiobook. We had been listening to the Boxcar Children. And so we had finished that one. So we started a new one and we started listening to Tom Sawyer. And so it was funny because I had my phone and I had it on speaker. And like we're all surrounded like in this bush area listening to the audiobook. So it did help the time go a lot faster. Free Holly Maid says, my blueberries are looking awesome. Going to get more than we did last year. Oh, that's cool.
They're all still green and won't be ready to harvest until about mid-July. Ours are still green too, but we only have 2 little bushes. How many bushes do you have Free-handedly made, and what varieties are they? We have one legacy blueberry and one, what was the other one? Oh, Bridget. Yeah, so I'd be curious to know what you have. She's way up in Montana, though, so yeah, that makes sense that they would be pushed back. I was reading a thing online that was saying that blueberry harvest was kind of a lot lower this year because of the late frost that we got in some places of the country. And the lady was saying that we were picking for that the blueberries were going for a premium, going for real good prices this year because the demand was so high and the supply was lower than normal. So she really wanted to get them boxed up and get them out to market. So that's why we had to jump on it pretty quick.
Sure.
Nisi says, I got a total of 5, not sure what the variety. I asked my father-in-law, but he doesn't remember. As Dottie, my belated mother-in-law, purchased them over 5 years ago. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. As long as they produce. There's so many varieties out there. But as long as you're getting blueberries, that's all that matters. They're super sweet. That's what matters. Yeah, they're good. You get good blueberries. So actually, my wife today, the lady that we picked for on the first day that we were there, on Tuesday, she gave us half a bucket. I think the buckets were 4 pounds because we got half a bucket and it measured. We got this put on the scale and it was 2 pounds. So we took those 2 pounds that she gave us for free, just as kind of a little gift because she wanted us to make something out of them. She gave us 2 pounds and we made a different version of the Mexican popsicle. If you saw our last video, it was a strawberry flavored Mexican popsicle or an ice cream. And we made a blueberry variety of that. We just did that today. Actually, my wife did all the work. I was outside painting. But she made that with the majority, and then she made a little, what do they call it, a crumble or
I think it was a cobbler.
Yeah, with some of the rest of them.
She actually gave me enough for the cobbler. She actually has her own blog that she does recipes on.
That was her blog, huh?
Mm-hmm. You know what? I should have written down. Actually, I have it right here.
We could share it.
I could share it with you. So she
but
does.
Then they'll know where we go to pick blueberries.
Like they're gonna come and get our $6. Let me see here. It is nanahood.com. So Nana as in N-A.
Should I write it on here?
Sure.
Nanahood.
.com.
.com. There you go. Oh man, all that typing for nothing. It wasn't even in the bar.
So she has a blog, and so she has a recipe. So she gave me enough.
There you go.
Just for the recipe. But my kids love the paletas so much that they're like, Mom, I just really want paletas. I don't really want a cobbler. And so I made the paletas. And then I was like, I'm going to make this cobbler. And so I did like a half batch of the cobbler, and it was so good.
It was good.
Like, part of me was like, darn it, I should have saved all those blueberries for this cobbler because it was so good. But now we know, so we're joking. We're like, man, if I would have known, I would have like hid some blueberries in my pocket. And the kids, especially Caspian, he was doing more eating than he was picking. So he would like pick one, put it in the basket, and then like pick one, put it in the mouth. And I was like, dude, his little mouth was all blue. So it was fun, like just going. I know when they did cherry picking, I hadn't gone with them. And this time, because there was money involved and I had some pocket money, I was like, I'll go and pick blueberries. So that was fun. We were joking, though, for those of you guys that have read the Chronicles of Narnia, if you're familiar with the last book, which is The Last Battle, and they had Tashlan, which he is like a fake Aslan, and he's like making all these demands in the name of Aslan. And so we were joking that I was Tashlan because we're picking blueberries and the kids were faster pickers than I was. And I was like, give me your blueberries. Tashlan needs them. So they would fill my basket because we were keeping tallies of the who was picking things. And so that was really funny. And so at the end, the second day, I was like, oh my gosh, like this feels like it's taking longer. And I was like, oh, it's because I'm picking my own berries. That's why. Because the second day I told the kids, no, keep your berries. Like you make enough money. Like this is an opportunity you're not going to have often. Like keep your berries, keep your money. Don't give them to me. And so yeah, it was like my basket's taking forever to fill. So Jason Neighbors came in. Hello, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
I've been eating blueberries
Glad you
every
stopped
morning this week. You know, it's funny. My sister Erica said the same thing, that she's been eating blueberries every morning. I'm like,
You know what? I've never had a fresh off the bush blueberry until this week. So there is a huge difference from the blueberries that you get in the store. These were also organic blueberries, so they would sell a little bit higher when the lady took them to market. And another thing is they didn't have any chemicals in them, and they were good. And they were, they were like perfect.
I'm not a very big blueberry person. I'm more of a strawberry girl. And they were eating them as they were picking them. And they're like, you should have some. And I was like, no, I don't want any. And then I accidentally, when I picked one off, I took a little bit more of the skin off than I should have. And I was like, oh, I'll just eat it. Like, I don't want it to go to waste. And I was all, whoa, like, this is delicious. And then after that, I was like, feet in the basket, one in my mouth. And then Caspian, or was it David? I don't remember now. I think it was Caspian. Like a while later, they're like, oh, my stomach hurts.
That was Caspian.
He's like, I don't know why. Like, it just doesn't feel good. We're like, could it be because you've been eating a whole bunch of blueberries? He thought, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Says Jason wrote, not so many strawberries anymore. Yeah, it's true. We don't have that many anymore either.
Strawberries are pretty much done.
Now I need to figure out what I should plan to put on fruit after the blueberries. Yeah, it's actually sad that we don't have that many strawberries either anymore, because I was making the paletas and I kind of got used to the strawberries coming in, and now that they've come to a halt, I'm like, oh, darn it. I want more strawberries.
Did we freeze any of the strawberries?
No, because we made
We
paletas.
just used them as they came in, huh?
We did freeze them.
The batter? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't freeze any whole strawberries.
We didn't. Free Henley Maid says, Z and I had our first strawberry last night. Oh, right off our growing wild in the main garden. Oh, how sweet. I think that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's different, like, when the kids bring in strawberries. It's totally different when you're outside and you, like, see the strawberry, pick it, and you eat it. It's just, like, a whole nother, like, moment, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it's special.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you just have a couple little plants, even one plant, and you get one strawberry. I grew this strawberry. It's special.
Yeah. So congratulations, Free Henley Maid. And then he goes, they taste so different and are a lot smaller, but holy cow, they are juicier and a lot sweeter than store-bought strawberries. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. The strawberries that Paul grows, like, you bite into it and there's like juice, like tons of juice in the strawberries. My strawberries are mostly green still and not ripe. Well, the good thing is that you have something to look forward to. Like, I'm kind of sad. Like, I see your little bushes. I'm like, oh, they're all done.
Hide your strawberries from the ducks.
Yes.
That's one thing we learned this year. So we took a bunch of the runners this last fall, in the fall of 2020, and we probably took about 100 plants. I made a video of it. But we took about 100 plants and put them in different guilds. And the problem with that was they were no longer in the garden fencing, so they were kind of out where everything else free ranges, where there's ducks and geese, and now there's chickens. And hey, it's Jules.
Hey, Jules.
So the ducks learned, of course, with the help of one of the kids. I don't know why they would teach them, but the ducks learned to eat the strawberries. So then soon after that, all of the strawberries that were out in the open were gone.
And Luna, too, our dog.
Yeah.
The kids were eating most of it and then giving him some, and he got an appetite for the strawberries.
Then he learned how to hunt them, yeah. I was telling him, I'm like, come on, you can't teach them to eat the strawberries. You're defeating the purpose here. So then, how many pounds of strawberries did we pull out of that little garden patch?
I'm not sure. I wrote it down.
So last spring, we planted 25 strawberry plants in the garden area. It probably covered about 3 foot wide section by about 20 feet. So it's about 60 square feet of strawberries. Then in the fall, there was so many runners, we started 2 more 20-foot by 3 foot beds. So then we had 3 60 square foot beds in the garden. But those 2 new ones didn't produce very much at all this spring. So just out of that 25-foot bed, I think we got close to 10 pounds of strawberries. And we did weigh them. Remember we weighed them?
Yeah, and that was the other thing too, is I told the kids about the 5 because we wanted to bring them in to weigh them. So I do have it all written down. I don't remember the exact measurement.
I would say we got at least 10 pounds of strawberries from that one little patch, which is 3 foot by 20 foot.
But to go back,
that was pretty awesome.
To go back real quick, I know that Jules said he'll be right back. Anyways, also for the blueberries, one thing that was funny for me is on Tuesday, I woke up and I was like in excruciating pain from like here all the way down. I was like pain. I'm like, I must have slept wrong, because I've done that before. Is I've slept wrong, and I was like, even now I'm kind of like stiff going to this side, and I was like, I must have slept wrong. I don't know what's going on, and like just moving my arm really hurt. And I went about here, and then it was like excruciating pain, and I was like, oh, it's from picking blueberries. So I'm not used to having my arm at this angle for so long. So I was sore from blueberry picking. So now, thankfully, it's not bad. And even on, what day was that, Wednesday or Thursday? It was Thursday. We talked about going and getting some more blueberries. And Paul's like, you can't even move.
Yeah, I wasn't going to have them.
But like once I got warmed up, like once I got moving and I was doing things, I was fine. But like if I sat and I got cold, in a sense, like my muscles got cold, then it was like bad. So yeah.
It was hot too.
It
was somewhere between 85 and 90 both days. It was pretty warm out there. But if you get covered up right, we had hats on and long sleeve shirts. It wasn't bad. One thing that I do want to do if I go out again is wear, like, I have this little GoPro thing where I can wear it like right here and kind of get like a first-hand view of picking. I think that'd be a neat little video.
Paul's a really good picker.
Of picking.
Because Paul does this like roll motion that he's got packed. Like I was going one by one, like little blueberry. And he's like, no, you got to do the rolling motion.
Yeah, you kind of make you can see the paint on my fingers. I've been painting all day. Yeah, dang paint. So what I do is I put my hand out, and depending on how big the cluster is, you kind of put your hand out, and then you roll the blueberry off into your hand. That way, if the blueberry falls, it falls into the cup of your hand. And because if you just come at it like this, then a lot of times, like they're loose and you'll bump them off, or you'll drop them, or you won't have it correctly, and then they'll fall on the ground.
And once
something will bump you, and then you'll drop it. So that's the method that I found to work the best. I think I was actually watching another YouTube video where people were picking blueberries. I can't remember what channel it was, but they were doing that. So I went with that method, and it worked pretty good. There was one guy out there, and he was like, and then he'd look at them, make sure there wasn't any bugs on it, and then he'd put it in his little basket. I was like, man, dude, you're going to be here a while, and you're not going to get very much. But I don't know. He looked like he wasn't in a hurry to really go anywhere.
Yeah, it was funny because he was picking with us, like in the same. Go ahead, baby. He was kind of picking in the same area as us, and we were listening to the audiobook, and he was kind of far off. And as we're listening to the audiobook, he got a little closer and a little closer. And next thing you know, he's actually picking at the same bush that we are. And then, like, at one point, I stopped the audiobook because he said something, and I was like, Paul, what is that? And Paul's like, I don't know.
What was it?
I don't even remember. It was like something to do with a stump.
Oh.
It was like, I don't even remember. And Paul's like, I don't know. And the kids were like, I don't know. And then the guy's like, I don't know. And I was like, I wasn't even asking you. And
Yeah,
then,
that was funny.
and then like another part where like, Tom Sawyer has this, what are they called? The pinching beetles.
But,
And he let it go in church. And then like the dog ended up sitting on it, and he's like raising all kinds of commotion. And we're all like laughing around the blueberry bush. And here I could see the guy, and you can see his little shoulders like going because he's laughing. Like, well, we're all enjoying the audiobook.
yeah, the audiobook was a good call. It really did make time go by faster. That was pretty neat.
So that was fun. So yeah, I made the paletas and I made the cobbler. That's something we did today.
So,
Paul was painting today.
yeah, I did some painting. I started painting yesterday. We have a little well house. It's like what would that measure? It's probably maybe 4 foot by 6 foot. 4 foot by foot. It's not very big, but it just covers the well. It has like the little pressure tank. It's about this big, probably a 5-gallon tank, where the water gets pumped into there just so you have a little bit of reserve. And it was just old and ugly looking. So I decided to paint that. And then I was going to do a video of this other project, and that was I took a window out of the RV unit and I put a window unit, AC unit in there. The reason I did that was because the original stock camper RV, it rubbed a hole in the refrigeration line and it leaked off all the refrigerant. So the original equipment was no longer working, and we called a couple AC companies, and the majority of them didn't even want to come out. They're like, no, we don't work on those. One guy was like, I'm too big to be getting up there on your RV. Another guy was like, I don't go over there.
You have to bring it in.
Oh yeah, quite a few of them were like, if it was a like an RV specialist, like they only work on RVs, then they wanted you to bring it on site, which we don't really want to have to pack it all up and do that. I mean, we could, but like we've already built a little what would you call that? Like a little deck around it, and then we ran data cabling over. The electrical would be easy to disconnect because it's just the original.
Pretty much is like we set roots.
Yeah, it's set up so that it would be more of a hassle. But then we found somebody who would come out and they wanted to charge us like $250. And I'm like, I'll just take out one of the windows. So one of the windows is actually it's like an emergency exit. So the window is actually made to come off. And we took out the screws, and basically it was like on a little hinge. So then we slid it right off, and the window was completely removed. And then we put that. I had to kind of make a plywood adapter, if you will, to make up the difference in the space of the window. But that I had to paint that because the plywood, I didn't want the plywood to start getting all messed up. And it already looked kind of rough with the window unit hanging off the side of it, but then with that piece of wood, it looked pretty rigged up.
Even the kids are like, now we're really like rednecks. We have the AC.
Yeah.
But
now
man,
we just need to put one on the other side of it.
But it makes a huge difference. Like, I seriously think it was such a good call. Like, even now in the middle of the day, it gets a little warm in there, but it would have gotten so much more warm without the AC.
Yeah, the biggest thing is nighttime. Like, it is super hard to sleep at nighttime when it's hot. So it cools it way down in there. I mean, it's easy to get it down to 60 degrees if we want to. My neighbor just said he dropped off some tomato plants for me
Oh, that was nice of him.
near my garden.
Aw.
He said he had some extras and he dropped them off.
So I know in the last live stream we were talking about Mr. Willie, and someone, I forgot who it was like Mr. Willie, and
You know Mr. Willie too.
and I forgot to comment because you were talking. So Mr. Willie is our neighbor, and when we talk to him, we actually call him Willie. We don't say Mr. Willie, but we tend to say Mr. Willie when we're talking about him, so that way the kids get in the habit of saying Mr. Willie. So that's the reason why we call him Mr. Willie. Just like I call Paul Papa, because I had other like pet names for him, and the kids would always repeat. Like even to this day, the kids have a really hard time not calling me Little Tweet, because that's a nickname that Paul has given me. It was like Darling Little Tweet, and so they would call me Tweet. And so I got into the habit of saying Papa or whatever it is, like Mr. Willie. We just say that, so they get in the habit of saying it.
Now that that's clear.
So someone asked me, I forgot who it was.
I think it was Beam Me Up, Mr. Scott.
Oh, was it?
Oh, and Beam Me Up, Mr. Scott. If you're watching this, we got your seeds. I got your seeds on Wednesday. And I got a bunch of peppers from Mr. Scott. I got some habanero, some peach pepper, and a couple of varieties of tomatoes. So that ought to be cool. Kind of some really unique stuff that I hadn't really even seen or didn't know. I wouldn't have otherwise planted, but now that I have the seeds, I'll definitely give them a shot. Mr. Scott.
So yeah, thank you. Actually, it put us for a loop. We're like, who sent this? And we're like looking at it, and then the kids are like, oh, I know who that's from. So it was nice for a moment because we didn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Too bad Mr. Scott's not on here. He's been on here the last couple of lives. So we're kind of throwing around the idea of moving the live stream again.
No.
We just don't have a lot of activity on this time slot. We're thinking about moving it back to the 4 p.m. Sundays time slot. If any of you in here have a suggestion of what you think might be a better time slot, we're definitely open for any suggestions. But just looking at the numbers, we had a lot more activity on Sundays at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. So
that, and also it was more of a routine. Like it actually, Friday, I think because it's someone new, always throws me off, and I'm always like, oh, today's Friday, we have the live. Versus Sunday, like we kind of have a routine, and it seemed more easy for me to remember. But I wanted to know, for those of you guys that are on here or are watching it on the replay, let us know what is better for you guys, either Sunday or Fridays or another day that you suggest.
Yeah.
So let us know.
Let us know what you think about that live stream time.
So, Papa, do you want to talk about this? What's back here?
What is that thing back there?
I'll bring it over.
So this little gadget, if you can see this.
Oh, Free Helen makes it Sundays.
See, like Sundays?
Mm-hmm.
Let me take this little tag off so they can see.
I have some over here.
All right, I got it. Check this out.
There's some over here too. Look at this one. Look at Papa.
Edmonton, Kentucky.
That's a different color.
Oh, this one's a different color, but so the kids took some of their 4-H projects to be turned in for the 4-H competition. And one of them was this little gadget that Caspian made. He made a lamp, basically took apart an old lamp and made it out of some old pipe that we gathered up was left over from something. I think I might have just picked that up when I was out scrounging around in my scrounge mobile, as Mr. Baker likes to say, on Baker's Green Acres. Um, I was out scrounging around, found that, and then I had been laying around here in Caspian. I was like, I want to make that. I want to make something for 4-H with that thing. I want to make a lamp. So we made it work.
So before we go into that, Nisi, thank you for letting us know that Sunday does work better for you, because I know we kind of switched gears up, but before I continue, thank you for letting us know, because like I said, we want to know what's convenient for you guys, especially the ones that are very, very faithful. So thank you for joining us. Also, going back to the 4-H though, it was neat because we were looking at the list. It was kind of last minute for us because we had never really done 4-H, to kind of get into the routine of like what's expected and what's acceptable. And we began to look at it, and we realized a lot of the things that we could take, we've already done, because we're doing craft Mondays. And so a lot of things that we had already done as a craft, we could take it in because it still was before the time that was cut off. They wanted it to be done between September last year to now. So they didn't want anything later than that. And so we had a whole bunch of stuff. So like this paintings back here, we took those in. Caspian had knitted a scarf. He took his pumpkin that he was so proud of that we shared a video of. And so Caspian won 3 purple ribbons, which means they're going to state, which as a family, we're all excited because then we get to go to the state fair for, what was it, $2?
Yeah, $2
a person.
And that includes everything. That includes parking, tickets, everything. Yeah,
so we're really excited about that. And then the rest of the kids all got blue ribbons. Victoria was bummed. I felt so bad for her because she had done some artwork and she only got a blue ribbon. But we're like, well, you have to remember that it is a bigger, more people are putting in entries into that. So she was a little bummed out. We're like, well, we're ready for next year, something to challenge you. And so that's one thing I think is 4-H, is it challenges them. It's one thing if we sit there and admire it, but she has to like put her up at a different level. But Caspian was really excited that his pumpkin is going to state. And then one of our Dutch boards that I think we shared that Dutch board on one of our lives a while back. We actually don't have it here. We actually had given them to the church right down the street, and so then we took them to the fair, and then we took them back to the church, and they know we told them, and they're like, "Yeah, go ahead," like they're your paintings. And so Caspian took the one, and it's going to state. So we actually took it back to the church, and it's hanging there. So we don't have it here. What happened?
It's $25 a ticket for adults, children, and seniors.
And that's in Louisville.
Yeah, the state fair.
Yeah, I know. I'm letting them know.
That's crazy.
And then I think it's extra for parking, right?
Yeah.
It's like an additional
$5. $5 for parking.
An expensive trip for us. So we're excited that we're going in for a lot less.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I haven't looked at the actual prices yet, but yeah, $25 a person, and that would have been $125.
Well, versus now it's like what?
$10.
It's like that even.
Actually, it would have been more than that because of parking. But yeah, that was worth it by itself. And then the kids, we don't know exactly what they get, but for every single item got at least a blue ribbon, right?
Mm-hmm. And they did say it was kind of hard because in in all of the divisions that they all took something in, they were competing against
each other.
Yeah. So not only were they competing against other people, but then they had those as well. My life ended, thank God. I'm here. Wickershire, I did see that you had a live, and I was like, Wickershire is doing a live. So Wickershire, just in case, we were talking earlier that we might move our live stream again. I know. I think we're gonna move it back to Sundays at 4. I know that Free Hanley Maid said that Sundays worked better for her. So let us know if that works good for you too. Sorry, I have a cough drop. I keep putting them in my mouth.
That's a good place for them.
Yeah. than my ear. So the kids are really excited though about that. Then they got to see like other competitions too, like they were walking around and like this one didn't win state. And Cassie was really bummed out because if you see here, there's like this little like handle thing and he had to like feed the pipe a certain way and he was like, that was so difficult, but someone else did a lamp.
Yeah, he wrapped the cord around it so you can't see it real good. But this little thing is really well made. We even put the little grommet in there so that it doesn't scratch up the insulation on the wire. And then we took it apart and routed it through this little gate valve. You can see the wire in there. So it's fully functioning. It's pretty neat. I think it's cool. And then the way we connected it at the bottom, first we put some epoxy down there. I don't know if you can see that epoxy. But then that wasn't holding real good, so we just shot 2 screws between the copper pipe and the piece of 1x, and that actually worked really good.
Then next year, I think
We're
gonna try to get some livestock in too, right? Because this year we kind of missed the deadline on that.
So Billy, this is I don't know if you missed that part of it. That was a 4-H project that Caspian put in, and he actually won this little ribbon for that project, the little homemade lamp project. But there's all kinds of stuff. Like my wife was saying, we kind of found out about it late in the game. But this next year we'll definitely have plenty of time to plan. Yeah. So Billy, have you found any properties in Metcalfe County? Come on.
Yeah, and then we were enjoying your live stream the other day, Billy.
Your kids need to be picking up some of these Metcalfe County Fair ribbons.
We were looking at the live stream that you were doing about the hummingbirds. That was really neat. I know Paul was watching it. I was like, oh, I want to see. And so I was enjoying your live stream. Sorry, it's because I have to like keep going over here because my nose.
Stop going over there.
So guys, it's been super hot here. I don't know how it's been for you guys. It is nasty hot. I'm not excited. I'm excited because we have family coming over, but I'm not excited for the weather when they come over.
Yeah, we're hoping we're going to catch at least a couple of those days. A lot of times in this area, we get that storm weather, whether it's like a hurricane or whatever it may be, when it brings that moisture up from the south or even sometimes from the east. That really helps with that cloud coverage, because when the clouds aren't there, it is just super hot when it's clear out.
Even when we were picking the berries, there was a little cloud. We're like, oh, I wish we could like tie a little string and like keep it right there, because it made such a difference when the clouds came. And then for those of you guys that are not familiar with Kentucky and some of the attractions, one thing that we would like to do is to go visit the Ark Encounter. We've actually gone before. Mm-hmm. We're hoping to go again. It is so neat. Like we go and they have what are the animations? Like they're not mannequins. They're animatronics that move. And they have it set up like something that like would be in the Ark. It is so amazing. So I'm hoping that we could go when my in-laws are here. We put it on the table, and we're not sure if they want to go or not, but I think it'd be cool to go. I really enjoyed it the one time we had gone. There's this one part that was my absolute favorite. Like you see it and you can hear it almost like if the boat's rocking, and you can hear the thunderstorm outside. And Abraham is praying in Hebrew.
Noah?
Noah. What did I say? Moses, didn't I? Oh my
Abraham.
gosh. I'm all over the place. Sorry.
Abraham's Ark.
Noah's Ark.
I said
I'm
Moses.
sorry. Okay. Sorry, I said the wrong name. I'm all over the place.
That's right.
Noah's
Ark.
Noah was praying in Hebrew, and it was so amazing. I was thinking about faith. That's what I was thinking about Abraham. He's praying, so I can't understand what he's saying, but it sounds so cool. And that was like my favorite part. And like they have pots like for storage. Anyways, if you've ever been to Kentucky or if you're in the area, I would highly recommend it because it is amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. One thing that I really liked about the Ark encounter was just seeing the physical size of it and how large it was, and the fact that it really did show that it was doable, that you could put that amount of animals on that size of a boat or ark. I guess boat is not the right word. But they go through and they kind of even show, like, there was excess of actually amount of room that they had. Just a huge structure. It's pretty neat. If you like timber framing and you like carpentry and stuff like that, just the huge beams that they use in there. I think they set a couple records for wood framed structures when they built the Ark, so it's pretty neat. Gotta have the right kind of feed. Oh, he's talking about his hummingbirds.
No, he's talking about the Ark. He says, who's on mucking duty is what I want to know.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta have that. So it's interesting because they actually share like what kind of cleaning duties that was probably on the Ark and their watering system. It's really cool. I would recommend going online because it is watching videos because it is so cool.
Yeah, she mentioned the watering systems a couple times. There's some ancient technologies that they show, like water harvesting and just different like ventilation systems and feed systems, caging, all stuff that seems like kind of like yeah whatever, but it's pretty neat because I mean it's done with like very simple materials and very simple machines, very simple tools. So I like that part of it. I liked like the actual, like, how did they do that? How is this possible? And there's a lot of things that they really don't know, but they kind of give some possible scenarios. One of them is like storing feed, and they show how much space it would take to store that much feed for that period of time. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Gotta have the right feed, yeah. Another thing they talked about that I hadn't thought before I had gone to the Ark encounter was the possibility that they could have gone into like a hibernation type state so that that the animals weren't as labor intensive, that they didn't need as much care. So that's a possibility. I mean, the Bible doesn't really say that exactly, but
I like seeing their apartments. That was the other part that I liked. So they had like what's traditional apartments during that time like would look like and what it might look like on the Ark. So that was really neat, like seeing their storage and their kitchen areas. And so yeah, I really liked it. I wanted to do that plug-in because I'm thinking about it because we might be going there when my in-laws come.
Yeah, we might be going there in a couple weeks. Check it out again. So when we went, the whole top 1/3 was not even completed. They just kind of had poster boards and displays and kind of like future drawings of what might be up in that third floor. But that was, I think we went like 1 or 2 months after it opened, so it wasn't completely done. And they they kind of were working it in phases because they wanted to get it open sooner to the public before it was like 100% done. So they kind of opened it up before it was 100% done, so that they could get people going into it and start, making some revenue, and then finish off that. Now it's completely done. They have it all the way up to that point. And another thing that's really neat there is they have some really neat like gardening areas, or like flowers and landscaping and stuff like that. They really went through and set it up a lot like a theme park, kind of like when you go to Disneyland and you have all those little gardens everywhere, and everything's really well manicured.
They have a petting zoo too.
Mm-hmm. Petting zoo. And don't miss the buffet. It's worth it.
Yeah.
And it's very reasonably priced. I want to say like it was like $5 or $6, and it was an all-you-can-eat buffet with really good food. It was good.
So I know Wickershire was talking about the meat product. Can't even say that word. Product. What does it say about that?
Production.
Mm-hmm. It's like right here. It's stuck. Which reminded me, we have ducklings. Have we shared that?
No, we didn't share about our ducklings. I actually made a video of it, but I haven't shared it yet.
Oh, did you not want to talk about it?
No. I don't mind talking about the little ducklings. So if you've been following, I'm trying to think if we really even made too much.
I know we did the duck video where they took off to the neighbors.
Yeah. And they've been in a couple videos.
Yeah, it's
but
true.
We've never really just kind of
focused on them.
So we started out with 12 ducklings, June of last year. Little ducklings. They came with all the chicks that we ordered, and we figured we'd give them a shot, grow them out a little bit until they were kind of big enough to be out on their own, and then we'd set them free in the pond with a guard goose to kind of look after them little guys. So then little by little we kept losing ducks, and we lost some, and we're pretty sure an owl was getting them. So then we started hiding them at nighttime, yeah. And then we got down to 3 ducks. Sometimes ducks would just disappear.
Yeah.
So then we were down to 3 ducks for the last about 3 months. And we thought, they're gonna go away. We're gonna lose all our ducks. And I was actually at a little swap meet, and I contemplated getting some Muscovy ducks that I saw. But I was like, nah, they're just not making it. And then we had this one duck, this female duck, and she was kind of starting to act funny, and she'd always be, meh, meh, meh. She walks around and yelling at everybody. And then she started making a nest, and we found her nest, and it had like 10, 12 eggs. And we're like, oh, look at that. And then a month went by, and none of them hatched. Well, then, like, we lost track of her, and she kind of, like, separated from the other 2. So then we found her after a couple of days of, like, not seeing her, and she had another nest. And then about a week after we discovered that nest, we found a couple ducklings in that little nest. So the last 2 days, we've been seeing these 3 little ducks follow her around.
They are so adorable. Oh my goodness. Paul was saying that they're cute. The kids were saying they're cute. But they were like in the tall grass, and I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to go over there because of the ticks. And I was like, no, I'm not going over there. Well, then she got close to the road, or the driveway, and I saw them. Oh my goodness. They really are adorable. They have these cute little bitty tails and these cute little, like,
their wings.
Their
the bill.
bill. Yeah, they are so cute. She's a good mama too, because Luna, our dog, was really excited to see me, and he ran down, and she was like, "No, you're not coming over here." So she's a very good mama.
Yeah, she's been a good girl with them. So our duck population is going back up. We have 2 adult females, and 1 male. So we can't afford to lose another male, or we're done.
Yeah.
But hopefully she'll keep hatching these ones out.
We also, I'm not sure if we shared that we also got the, we did. The
You got what?
guineas.
Oh yeah, we got the guineas. That was the question that Wickershire answered to get the whole seed catalog.
That's right. What kind of bird that was.
The little guineas.
And then our guard goose, he actually is a very loving goose. Like, he makes some racket, but he's very gentle. Like, I think that most of our animals are pretty docile. Mm-hmm. So I know Wickershire was saying that he loves our guard goose, because you could pick him up. Like, he'll make racket, but he won't hurt you. Like, you just grab him, pick him up, and he's like, "Okay, you got me."
Yeah, the guineas are outside now. We're trying to kind of get them acclimated to like this little area. I have an area down by one of the ponds. It's kind of way back in the corner of the property, and I was thinking about kind of setting up a little like a little nest box, a little house back in the trees there, and then having them having that be their home, so it's farther away from the house. Because I was thinking about allowing them to go in the tobacco barn where the chickens and the rabbits are. But the problem is they'll start roosting up higher up inside of the tobacco barn once they get older. And then they'll start pooping all over everything, because they'll be above everything. It just rain and poop down on the rabbits and the chickens that are in there.
I like that idea too, because I noticed that we have a lot more bugs down there.
Yeah.
Because where we're at up here closer to the house, we have more animals, and so they've been really keeping down the bugs. And whenever I go for a walk, there's always tons of spiders and all kinds of stuff down there.
The guineas are a trip. They are very wild birds. Like, they're super high strung. They're super like skittish. They like a chicken. If you pick up a chicken that you handled a little bit, like, you know, once you got it, it's like, oh, you got me. But these guys are just like, they're freaking out. They're pecking at your hand, and they're like,
let me go.
They're like a lizard. Like, if you've ever caught a little lizard, they're just like freaking out. They're wiggling the whole time. They're like, you're gonna kill them. Like, they
don't like to be manhandled.
No, they don't like to be touched whatsoever. So they're a completely different little creature. So it's actually been kind of interesting to kind of learn their ways. I think these guys are about 4 weeks old now, and they're outside 100% of the time now.
Sounds like me.
But yeah.
Let me go.
Yeah, those little rascals. They I think they're gonna work out though. If you don't know, I'll kind of leave this on here. Maybe somebody will watch this in the replay and find some value out of this. A lot of the birds, especially farm birds like geese, ducks, guineas, chickens, a lot of them, they get like images burned into their mind after a certain period of time. Like, if they stay in the same place a certain period of time, they learn the horizon, and they learn the tree line. They learn different landmark positions. Maybe, you know, the house is here, the barn is here, this big patch of trees here, and then this is where I roost right over here. So they have what's called imprinting. That was the word I was looking for. So after they spend a certain period of time, usually it's about a week to 10 days. Sometimes it takes a little longer. But once you keep them in that place for that period of time, now that's their home. So that gets burned into their mind. That gets imprinted on them. And then that's where they know, because that's where they wake up in the morning. Okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I need to come back to at night. And then, they go out and do what they're supposed to do. They kind of reference back, okay, I'm this far away. And then as the sun starts going down, as the day's closing out, then, okay, I need to go back to that place where I started out in the daytime, started out this morning, so I can get back to that safe place. But, yeah, so that's one little trick to keeping them in a certain area.
Wickershire said, Glenn from Lazy Acres said they will roost where you raise and feed them.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who it was. One of our live stream mentioned that they didn't keep their animals there long enough, that they just took off. I forgot who that was. Someone had mentioned that.
Yeah, and one of our fears is that our neighbors have guineas. And they're pretty close, and you can hear them. That's another thing. Those things make some of the weirdest little noises. Like one noise that these little ones are making, it goes like for hours on end.
I think Courtney's husband said that that's the reason. I think it was Courtney's husband said that they couldn't get him because of the noise.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It kind of sounds like a broken porch swing. It's like,
Well, I did mention a hinge.
Yeah, or like a hinge that you just keep on throwing the door back and forth. But they make some awful noises. Hopefully that doesn't stay on so long. But that was one of the reasons that I'm thinking about keeping them closer to somebody else's house down the road over there. Not right up next to our house.
Well, even the closest neighbor, if we were to put them at the furthest part of our property, they're still further away to our neighbors than they are to us. Like our neighbor is quite a distance. I'm not too.
Yeah,
I won't feel that bad.
Hopefully they won't hear the neighbor's guineas and go running off to them. That'd be a bummer.
Yeah. He's like, thanks.
Well, I don't know if he'd appreciate it, because there's 7 of those little donkeys.
Yeah. Some for using, some for losing.
Yeah, we already lost one. We started out with 8.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And one of them got smothered in the little brooder. The brooder was like a Rubbermaid tote. And I guess one of the times they all tried to huddle together, and this guy ended up at the bottom. And he was flat in the morning. So we lost one, but we're still doing pretty good. And we'll see. I mean, if they don't work out, we'll get rid of them. It's not a big deal.
So we are actually coming up to our 1 hour mark. So if there's any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, now's the time.
Yeah, so Wickershire, I don't know if you caught this. We were talking about this at the beginning. We may switch back over to the 4 o'clock Sunday time. We're strongly thinking about that because of the just the amount of activity that's on at this time slot. We thought this might be good. I think we were between like Simply Jan and something else was going on after us. I don't remember what it was. But we kind of picked a time slot in here where we thought.
Gemini, I think was.
No, Gemini was on before us. They run the same time as Simply Jan.
Yeah, we come after them is what I'm saying.
No, I know, but somebody comes after us.
Oh.
I think it may be Will It Grow. I don't know. Somebody else has a time slot. Yeah, get some sleep there, Billy. But we're fooling around with that idea. And we'll see. I pull in 10 to 25 or 10 to 15 peeps. Hardly peaks 25 plus. What the heck is this guy talking about? 10 to 15 peeps. Like people. Okay. I see what he's saying.
Oh,
okay.
I see.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, hardly peaks. So yeah, the one that we were watching, Billy, was you had some good traffic on there.
Mhm.
I saw what night was that? Was it Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday
The
night?
hummingbird one.
Yeah, the hummingbird one, where you weren't really doing a live, but you were just watching the hummingbirds.
Which reminds me, I was laughing at your comment about them fighting. I actually love to watch hummingbirds fight. I know that's mean of me, but I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I enjoy seeing them like fight with each other. My father-in-law had this big old window, and he had a little hummingbird feeder like right in the middle, and we just like sit there, and it's like a novela. You go, and they're like fighting with each other and all kinds of stuff. It was fun. Dive bombing each other.
Yep, so we'll see how it goes. So if we switch to Sunday, we'll put a little note out there somehow. We don't have the channel page or whatever it's called, so we can make those kind of notifications. But maybe we'll just make a video saying there's no live stream, that we're going to do it on Sunday. So not that it'll matter, because...
So not this Sunday, because this Sunday is Father's Day! Yay!
Woo!
He's going to grill some
pork ribs.
Mhm.
We got some pork ribs yesterday. Looking forward to grilling those up. And having a happy Father's Day. To all you fathers out there, Billy, I know you're a father. Happy Father's Day to you. To my dad, happy Father's Day, Dad. I know he watches the majority of these live streams. Love you, Dad. Thanks for being a good dad. And we'll close with that.
Happy Father's Day, all the dads out there.
Happy Father's Day. Merry Christmas. God bless you. Thanks for joining us, guys. We do appreciate your support.
And hit that thumbs up on the way out.
Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Have a good weekend.